This is lesson 20, or not 20, lesson 10. This is from unit 7. So in here, let's see, we have unit 7, but we have lesson 10. And we're going to be talking about our bivariate categorical data, but we're going to be talking about relative frequencies. So this is one of your vocabulary words, relative frequencies. You should be keeping a list of your vocabulary words as we go, and anytime there's justification, you should be using your vocabulary words. So bivariate means that we have two categories. So we have, in this case, we have superpowers to male and female. So that's what bivariate means. There's two. And we are going to be using frequencies. So frequencies is how often people vote for that or choose that. And let's talk about the exploratory challenge. Extending the frequency table to a relative frequency table. We're going to go, we used to just do like frequency tables just by counting with either like tick marks, but now we're going to talk about relative frequency. So, determine the number of students in each cell presents the first step in organizing bivariate category data. Another way of analyzing the data in the table is to calculate the relative frequency of each cell. After we gather the data, we need to start making sense of it. Relative frequencies relate each frequency count to the total number of observations. Relative frequencies relate each frequency count to the total number of observations. For each cell on the table, the relative frequency of a table is found by dividing the frequency of that cell by the total number of responses. So, it says if we want to find the relative frequency of our table, we would take each total. So say there are a total of 228 females, we would divide it by 450, and it would give us the total number of females that were surveyed. And then the total number of females that chose they wanted to fly as their superhero power. I don't know if that was very clear. So what we're doing here is there was a survey and it said, are you a male or female? If you're a female, would your favorite superhero power be to fly, to freeze time, to be invisible, to have super strength, or to have telepathy? And then they asked if you were a male, they'd ask the same. And then they would tally how many females wanted each favorite superpower and how many male wanted each favorite superpower. And they totaled to be 400 people. So the relative frequency is when we just take the number and we divide it by the total number. So if we divide the total number by the total number, we're definitely going to get 1. The relative frequency table would be found by dividing each of the above cell values by 450. I kind of started it in this total column, but you would divide everything by 450. For example, the relative frequency of females selecting to fly is 49 divided by 450. That's the total, or approximately 0.109. So we're going to do the same thing. A few of the other relative frequencies are shown in the table. So what would happen is we would take 60 divided by 450. We would get 48 divided by 450. And this is going to equal to 1.33. And this is for invisibility in females. That's going to equal to 0.107. Super strength is 1 over 450, or that's equal to 0.002. Telepathy is 70 over 450, which is going to equal to, I'll zoom in, 0.156. So your table, you should be sketching this out. What you could do is you could sketch out this table but leave lots of room in between each of these cells, because we're also going to write the percentages after this. So for males, I'm using this number, 51 over 450, and that's equal to 0.113. Then you have 71 over 450, and that's equal to 0.158. This one's done for us. Then we have this guy, which is 25 over 450, which will equal to 0.056. 48 over 450, that's equal to 0.107. Total, the males are 220. The relative frequency, which would be equal to 0.493. The total number of people total that wanted to fly was going to be 100 over 450, which is equal to 0.222. This one's done for us. The total number of people who want to be invisible was 75 over 450, and that was equal to 0.167. The total number of people that wanted superhuman strength is 26 over 450. Ooh, it's a lot of numbers. But we're going to read this and make sense of it. 0.058. And then total 450. We did this one, 450. That's equal to 1.00. Now, hopefully you left room in your table, because we're going to rewrite this again, but we're going to rewrite all the percentages. So I'm going to take my same decimals, you should have them on your paper, and I'm going to write them as percentages. So this is 10.9%, 13.3%, 10.7%, 0.2%, oh that's very small, it's 0.2%. Telepathy, 15.6%. Total number of females surveyed, 50.7%. Males that want to fly, 11.3%. Males that wanted to freeze time, 15.8%. Males that want to be invisible, 6%. I'm just getting this, if you're wondering where I'm getting these, I'm just changing the decimal into percentages. So you should have it already written on your paper so that this is a little easier for you to do. You can just write the percentages right in there. Okay, total, there's 22.2 people that want to fly. There's 29.1% of people that want to freeze time. There's 16.7% people that want to be invisible. 5.8% that want to have super strength. And 26.2% that want telepathy. And of course, there's 100% total. So now I'm going to move on to some writing. Based on previous work with frequency tables, which cells in this table would represent the joint relative frequencies? Joint relative frequencies, compare two categories. In this table, the unshaded cells are the joint relative frequencies. They do not involve totals. They do not involve totals. Okay, which cells in this relative frequency table would represent marginal relative frequencies? So marginal, you think of the word margins, and that's similar to saying that those are like the edges or borders of the table. So the margins have totals. So the marginal relative frequencies are the gray column and row. Okay. What is the joint relative frequency for females who selected invisibility as their superpower? Okay, joint relative means that it's not going to be in these margins. It's going to be in these unshaded cells. So joint relative frequency for females and invisibility is going to be right here, 10.7%. 10.7%. The joint relative frequency for females who favor invisibility is 10.7%. Nice. What is the, let me change the color of my highlighter. What is the marginal relative frequency for freeze time? Okay, freeze time. So not just boys and girls. It is total, the freeze time marginal margins, the grayed out boxes. 29.1. Remember that number. Okay. 29.1% of all people surveyed favor freezing time as their favorite superpower. This is the number of total people, both male and female, that want this power. This is just males, just females. This is both of them. All right, number 6. What is the difference in the joint relative frequencies for males and for females who selected to fly as their favorite superpower? Okay, males and females. I'm going to try to pick neutral colors. Males that... oh, my bamboo disconnected. Oh no, it's going crazy. Oh no. Don't go crazy. Okay. Males that want to fly. Males that want to fly. So let's scroll up. Males that want to fly, 11.3%. And females who want to fly is 10.9%. All right, so males, whoa. Males that want to fly, 11.3%. Females that want to fly is 10.9%. The difference is 11.3 minus 10.9, which is equal to 0.4% difference. Okay, so now we can say there's a very small difference. There is a very small difference in the joint relative frequencies of male to females who want to fly. Basically, it doesn't matter if you're a boy or girl, you like the idea of flying. All right. Is there a noticeable difference between the genders and their favorite superpowers? You're going to start with this question tomorrow, so I want you to take a look at this. Is there a difference between males and females in each superpower? Which ones have a big difference? Which ones do not have a big difference? We're going to start with that tomorrow. Okay. Make sure you have all this filled out. If you need to go back to see some of the answers, go back. Bye.